Yeah.
How y'all doing, man? What's going on?
Good, Aaron. I'll get us started here.
Happy Good Friday, brother.
You too. You too. Well, what have you learned about your secondary group through a couple of weeks here?
They want to be coached hard. They challenge me every day. Very smart. They're a very smart group of kids. They understand football, and I think especially having a new coach in there, they want to please you, and so they're trying to execute the techniques that we're trying to get done. And I mean, they're handling their business off the field. I've been very pleased overall. Sometimes when you get transition, there's oftentimes resistance, and resistance can last sometimes longer than how you want it to last. But I think these kids have adjusted and adapted, and I've been we've only got through 5 practices, but I like where we're headed as long as it keeps trending upward.
Obviously, you got a couple guys who are really experienced, and Tony Adams and Devin Witherspoon, and I know Kendall's part of that group as well. Like, what have you seen from some of those veterans? What do they bring, and how have they adjusted to what you are doing?
Tony has been having an incredible spring football so far. I like his state of mind. I like how he handles things. He wants to be great. And you can't have enough Tony Adams. The kid he goes above and beyond to take care of his body. And I've been very, very pleased with his effort thus far. I'm talking about from the time practice is over to the time I leave this building. He's coach. How can I get better? Coach, what do I got to do to make it today? I mean, like he wants, and it's the small things that he's trying to progress on, right? Because the kid has a ton of ability. Devin Witherspoon is a good old junkyard dog. I think Devin Witherspoon is our spark plug in the secondary, man. He is special talent wise, but the energy that he brings can literally shift the secondary just because he is a high energy guy. He brings a lot of juice. He's very charismatic, and that's who he is. He's got a big personality. He's gonna let you know it, and I think as a position coach, you don't want to simmer that down. You want it to be loud and boisterous, but within the confines of what we want to get done. And then you speak about Kendall. Kendall is long, athletic, plenty of ability. And I think obviously this being Kendall's senior year, I think he has a chance to be very special as well. And so I've been very pleased with what we've asked these guys to do and how they're going about doing it. Each and every day, both on and off the field.
And then I know Marquez was working with you guys. Is he still working with you guys at corner?
Yes, he is. He is. Marquez is. Pardon me.
What have you seen from him at corner?
The kid, this kid's ceiling in terms of ability wise, it's through the roof. Marquez is still a baby in terms of he's young. And so he still has to learn some things defensively. I know he played on the offensive side of the ball a lot in high school, which I think has been to his benefit, especially down the field when deep balls are thrown down the field. But I like how he's trending as well. Would like to add a couple more pounds to him. Him and Witherspoon, they're pretty light. Especially in this conference, they're gonna be forced to tackle a little bit. But I've been very pleased. With this hope, truthfully, like. From spring practice 1 to now, like the whole group, I promise you, the whole group from academics to performance has steady trended upward, man. And I'm like every day I want to like get my teeth into them and just like continue to feed them because they want it. They want to be great. They want to be all conference players. They want to be all Americans. And as long as we have that state of mind constantly, I think these young men are going to continue to get better with time.
You sound like you're having fun, Aaron.
Oh, man, I'm at home, man. We had a position meeting. Have position meetings whenever we're allowed to, but we had a cornerback meeting like we typically do about 2 days ago. And I specifically spoke on the first question I asked when that meeting started was, "What are you thankful for?" This is outside the realm of football, right? Like what are you thankful for? Because I get a chance to coach these dudes. Right? We want them to be better football players, but I think ultimately as a coach, my job is to get them better on the football field as well as in life. So upon me asking them what are they thankful for, and I go around the room and I ask each guy what are they thankful for, that allows their teammates to hear what they're thankful for. All right, and then I remind them. All right, it was a player, I think it was at Grand Canyon University, who had who had just played in the tournament, and like 3 days later the kid passed, right? He died in a car accident, and just constantly reminding these dudes every single day, right? Like don't take this thing for granted, reminding myself, don't take it for granted. I'm having a blast. Anytime I wake up, get to be in this building, it's fun for me, man. This ain't work. I ain't working. I haven't worked a day in 8 years since I got in this profession. And so it's been really, really fun. It's been really special. And it's been even better to be around my former head coach at my former university, and see how he has changed in terms of like speaking football 101 to our players. And he'll stop practice and just talk about certain segments of how offense is trying to attack, how defense is trying to attack, and it's been really cool, man.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Aaron, good to see you. In the limited time we have to watch you guys practice during spring ball, your personality definitely comes across working with the guys, and maybe a product of that or part of that is just because we're so close to your position group every day. But regardless, how do you feel like the guys have responded to that personality you bring to the position group? What has that dynamic been like from your perspective?
I think it's been very refreshing, but I think at the defensive back position, like just across the country, like you have to be confident. The first day I got here, I told our players a story. The difference between a all-American corner and a average corner. All right, they may be very similar in ability. They may be able to do some of the same things tackling wise, but it's just confidence. Right. If you know you have the ability to get the job done, and you trust your technique and you trust what we're trying to get done, it's right here. It exists right here in your mind. Like I've watched players go from 1 year not being even mentioned to all Big Ten players, in their second year, and it's literally right here. And so the sooner you get these young men to believe that and to play with this, believe in their abilities, believe in their talent, right? Don't listen to the rat poison, everything else that's going on outside of here. Believe in what you're able to accomplish, right? You can get the job done. And so I'm always a glass half full kind of guy, because I know how fragile the corner position can be. You can be the hero 1 minute and then the deep ball comes and you're a horrible player, and so I'm constantly trying to uplift these guys and coach them, right? When they do get a ball thrown over their head, why did that happen? Technique, where were your eyes? How were your feet at the line of scrimmage? Just trying to coach them through those moments, so we can advance in terms of when we do get into the season and we face those kind of situations.
And then I asked Ben about this as well, the recruiting areas that are shown off on those graphics you guys all posted on Twitter. You've got a pretty wide swath of Southern Illinois. What has it been like learning about that whole area and just being part of Brett's recruiting push so far?
It's been interesting, man. It's been fun. I know historically, right, Southern Illinois hasn't had as much talent as some of the northern parts of Illinois, but there's plenty of talent. There's plenty of talent down there. Sometimes it may be a guy, some years it may be two guys, some years it may be no guys. And I think in order for University of Illinois to be a really good program, we have to make sure that we do everything we can to get those players down there. And the coaches, high school coaches, have been absolutely awesome. And it's right now we're still in the dating phase. I'm trying to get to know them. They're trying to get to know me. But I think we started off on the right foot in terms of trying to contact every high school coach that's down there.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, brother. Happy Good Friday.
Hey, Aaron, glad you're doing well. I wanted to talk specifically about a couple guys, Quan Martin and Sidney Brown. I know Sidney spent some time hurt last year and didn't, play in every single game, but how's he matriculating this year, as well as Quan Martin, who came into his own last year?
I could tell you this, those players are very special. You talk about ability, they have it. You talk about like muscle memory and football smarts, they have it. Sidney is a throwback, old school Big Ten safety. He wants to hit everything moving, and he's very intelligent, like football savvy wise. He's extremely intelligent, and we're constantly putting more on his plate, and challenging him. And Quan, obviously from Southwest Florida, from where I'm from, Quan could easily, and don't let Coach Walters hear me say this, Quan could easily play corner. Easily, like he has that kind of coverage ability. He understands the game. He's very, very smart, and we're kind of mixing it up back there a little bit and allowing those guys to play and learn multiple positions, right? So that when we get into the season, we're not like forced to, okay, you're just this position or just that position, right? We're making them learn multiple secondary, nickel, safety. All right, may have to sprinkle a little bit of corner in there. We're forcing those guys to learn more than one position, and I think it's going to be beneficial for us in the long run.
I had one more. Just you mentioned being a former player of Coach Bielema's at Wisconsin. What's it like now? What have you learned? What are you seeing that maybe you didn't see before at your other stops since you've been back under his tutelage now?
I think the fact that Coach was with Coach Belichick, I think he was already a very intelligent, bright football mind, right? And we had a conversation about 2 weeks ago, when we were at Wisconsin, about like just some situational things in terms of 2-minute, and he mentioned to me like had I knew what I knew now, we would have won those games. And so I think Coach being around Coach Belichick, like it's really like expanded, and he was already a really bright football mind, but it's really opened his mind even that much more. And he's been able to teach our players that like that was one thing, even in my time with Coach as a player, like he would talk about football, and we knew that he knew it, but he kind of we didn't have these full team meetings to where he's discussing like situations in detail, both offensively and defensively. So defensive players are hearing how the offense will react and what they're trying to get done. And the offensive players are hearing what the defense is trying to get done. And so like overall, you're teaching players like football, right? And I think the more our guys know football and know, on top of that, know situational football, and what do we need to get done during this situation, right? Because anybody can just play. But I think the truth of the heart lies within when we get in these tight crunch time situations, how are our players going to handle it from a mental aspect? Okay, like what do we have to deny? What can't we allow to happen? Like it's just those things, man, over the course of time, I really believe they're going to pay off for us.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Aaron, good to see you. I'm curious, a new system, new personalities. How have you seen the guys buy into what you guys want to do? What's been their response? How have you kind of eased that transition for them?
I think when you have really amazing people in this building, right? I'm only speaking for the people that are currently in this building. When you have really amazing people in this building and people who are really, really good at, meshing personalities, people who are really good at getting to know people who are really good at building relationships, I think the football piece is naturally a lot more inviting for our guys to learn and understand, because they understand that this coach cares about me. This coach, like, he wants to see me get better. This coach, we had a 2-hour academic meeting, right? And I walked into the meeting room and I'm asking so-and-so, like, hey, dude, you gotta show up for this. You gotta do that. And then 2 weeks later, he aces his exam, and I'm throwing a fit and excited about it to the room, And so when they understand that you care about more than football, right? Like, everybody should know that. When they understand you care more about football, the football piece becomes easy. Because I think all these kids come to college wanting to be great football players, but they don't realize once they get here, there's a ton of distractions, right? You got social media distraction. You have classroom and beautiful woman distraction. You have marijuana's legal in the state of Illinois distraction. Like, you got all these different distractions, right? And so like we're all trying to fight for their time. And so like dealing with the kids that we deal with, understanding that there's all these distractions going on, I think it's on us as coaches, right? Some of us have kids and their fathers, to allow them to know that we care about them, And the football piece is really, really easy when you can motivate a young man, right, to be a really good student, right? And you can show him, listen, you can change your family's life if you take care of these aspects of your life, right? And you do what we're asking you to do. Because I have a former player that did it, and he's in the NFL now, right? And so all of them, their jaw drop when you talk about the NFL because everybody wants to get there, right? I think that's the equalizer. I think that's the motivator, right? And I think when they see these large, huge contracts, everybody wants to get there, but there's a process in understanding that. And so I think we've been doing a great job of them trying to understand the process. And then we have a head coach who just came from there, right? He just won a Super Bowl 2 years ago, and so like he knows what they're looking for in terms of evaluating players, and so he can speak to them directly. So that's even better. But I think those are some of the key pieces why guys are able to adapt and adjust fast to us. And on top of just having new faces in the building, man. Anytime there's change, right? Change is good. I don't think change is always bad. Change is good. And so you got a new face, you got some new coaches, you got a new oral, you got some new, it's just new everything, and always the thick of it, like we're not truly going to know until we get into like fall camp, spring ball, right? Because everybody likes everybody right now. Things are going well. But like when the rubber meets the road, when we get over this honeymoon phase, I think we're going to really find out what kind of players we have. And I was sure to venture that we're going to have some pretty good players.
And then Ben Miller said something interesting in the sense of the way that Brett spreads his time around from coaching coaches to coaching players to recruiting. And now for you being on this side of that window and kind of seeing that from a different lens than when you were as a player, how do you think he's able to spread that time, and how difficult do you imagine that is?
I think it's extremely difficult, but I think that comes with being a head ball coach. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody said he wants to be a head football coach, and I think our head coach is the definition of that. You talk about, for example, we get off the practice field, and a couple hours later, after we go review the tape, we have a staff meeting. In this staff meeting, he has notes from my DB drills, he has notes from the wide receiver drills, he has notes from every position group, right? And he talks about like the progression of a drill, good or bad. You know what I'm saying? From there, after we're over and we're done with that staff meeting, talk about recruiting a little bit, right? We watch film as a staff, and he'll ask me, like he asked me the other day, like, hey, Hen, tell me about this drill. I love this drill. I see what you're trying to do, right? Coach McDonald, tell me about this drill. He's going through each coach, and then we'll get into some team segments. He's talking to the coordinators, and so like I think by him doing this, he's making every coach better. One, right? They're able to see how he wants things done. And two, they might not have noticed something, or he might not have noticed something that people can speak on. And so it's just, I really believe that we have a no ego staff, like no egos, no hidden agendas. And guys truly want to be like really special football coaches. And so like having a head coach like that, who goes from that, right, till we get into a full team meeting, right, where he's talking about our running backs and how they're holding the ball, and he's calling out running. It's like little things like that, man, trying to make the whole team better, and I really believe that kind of stuff is going to be beneficial. But I think Coach is Superman, dude, like truthfully, right, on top of having 2 daughters, right, on top of having a beautiful wife, like he's doing all of that. And I think that's what makes him special. Like, I'm sure there's coaches around the country that are probably doing that to a degree, but and obviously who've had success. But I just think like with the way he's doing it, like even when we have these recruiting Zooms, like coaches like on the Zoom call the whole time, like he's not having a 5-minute convo and then leaving and that's it on these Zooms. Like he's spending time on these Zooms with these young men, like who we're trying to get to come here and show them like I'm real and he is real. And I think once this thing opens up and these young men are able to see what kind of person he is and actual like when they get to see him, I think it's gonna be something really special there.
And if I could get one more, we've heard quite a bit about Tank Wright and the work that he's done with these guys. Yeah, okay, so there must be some truth to it. What makes him so good at this, and what kind of impact has he had?
Yo, Coach Tank Wright is our secret sauce, right? You got a head coach who gets it, right? Personable, right? Like has had success in this conference. And the cherry on top is Coach Tank. Like, first and foremost, the players like just they gravitate to him. Like he played Division I football, you know, at a very, very high level, and he was a good player, you know. So naturally, Coach Tank has great leadership skills. Like he could command a room in a heartbeat. With that being said, he's come from places where he's had success, right? And he's able to show like still pictures and videos, right, of guys who've gotten drafted, who he's had the chance to get right. And so, no pun intended, get right, right? But like guys have been able to see that, and because they've been able to see that on top of his personality, I don't know, man, like some people are just blessed with the ability when they walk into a room and they speak, people listen. You know, Coach Tank is that guy. Like he walked into a room, I don't care what room it is, right? Players, coaches, he speaks, people listen, right? He has that kind of voice. He has that kind of, it's something about him, man. Like you got to meet him yourself. You got to be in a room with him to see him coach, to see him talk about drill work, to see him talk about like what he wants to get done in terms of lifting, to see him talk about flexibility. You know, the other day he came to my office and was talking about buying a sofa. You should hear how convicted he was in doing that. Like, it's just something about the way this dude speaks. I mean, it permeates your spirit, man. Like it's just, he has that it factor. You know, I really can't grip my mind around it, but you know how you meet somebody and they can say a handful of words to you, like, man, like this dude's a really good dude. This dude's really special. Something about him that's captivating. That's Coach Tank. You know, he's gravitated to these young men's hearts, and he has their ear. And I think these dudes would do anything for him, you know, in a very, very, very short amount of time. I can only imagine about a year from now, you know, like I mean, in this very short time, I think he's been able to get a lot accomplished, you know, and I think with the way Tank's personality is only going to get better.
Thanks, Aaron. Happy Good Friday, man.
You too, brother. Appreciate you.
Anything else for Coach?
Y'all easy, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
Have a great one, boys. Appreciate it.
Fired up to go score a baseball game now.
It's a podcast for himself, self-motivation.
He's awesome. I'll let you guys know what time tomorrow.
Thanks, Brett, too.
See you.